Okay, are we good? How are we feeling up there? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Concordia University's ForSpace, and thank you for joining us for today's event, which is part of the beginning of the series Bold 2024, Let's Age Together. And today's event, it's a zine creation workshop, crafting stories of aging together. Now, to help situate you, we are streaming to YouTube, we are live from ForSpace, and we are located in unceded Indigenous lands in Chichage, Montreal. Here at ForSpace, we work with our university community. We help mobilize knowledge by co-creating daily activities that examine research questions, projects, things in development across the university. And we're running this event also as a live stream Zoom meeting, so we welcome any comments, questions via the chat. And for those of you in this space, if you have, just so that people can hear, we're going to move some microphones around if that becomes appropriate. And that's also everyone can hear online, etc. Okay. Now, with that, it's my pleasure to hand it over to Line and Florence. We have Line Grenier, professeure titulaire, and Florence Darveau-Routhier, doctorante Faculté des Arts et des Sciences dans le département de communication, Université de Montréal. Bienvenue. Welcome.
Bon matin. Good morning, everyone. We're very, very, very happy to welcome you to this workshop, which is something that we're going to do really bilingually. So, Florence, tu veux nous dire des bonjours?
Oui, oui, bonjour. Donc, comme disait Lynn, moi, je vais vous faire une petite présentation pour commencer l'atelier. Je vais faire la partie en français, donc vous introduire un petit peu c'est quoi les zines, ça vient d'où, comment on fait ça. Puis ensuite, assez rapidement, on va partager les idées ensemble, à savoir qu'est-ce qu'on a envie de bricoler aujourd'hui, quel genre de zine on a envie de faire. Puis ensuite, on va partir l'activité, puis on va profiter de tout le matériel qu'on a sur la table en ce moment.
Donc, Florence is going to begin by a very short introduction to zine, their history, where they come from, how it's done, and then we're going to quickly move into discussing ideas. What is it that we want to bricoler, oh, that's a good word. Bricoler. Anyone for a translation of bricoler? No, make do, bricoler, make do with the material that we have here. And our theme today, to launch in a way bold, is really to think about what is it that we want to dream, think about, imagine about aging together, vieillir ensemble. Donc.
Je vais commencer en vous distribuant un petit zine. Un petit zine un peu spécial, en fait, qui cherche à vous décrire qu'est-ce que c'est qu'un zine, pour vous donner une idée de ce qu'on va faire aujourd'hui. Ça va être aussi le support pour suivre un peu la petite présentation que j'ai préparée ce matin.
This is a very small zine that gives you an idea of what zine can be, but it's also about key elements of Florence's presentation about what is zine and what it is about. So.
Donc, les zines, c'est quoi? C'est souvent des petits livrets, donc des formats booklets, faits à la main, autoproduits. Puis aussi, en fait, ce qui caractérise beaucoup les zines, c'est que ce sont de petites publications faites très rapidement, avec des moyens simples.
So, small leaflets that are made usually in very, very simple ways. And as you can tell from this is supposed to be just something easy to make, and that's part of the idea of a zine.
Donc, pour la petite histoire, et là, je vais faire voire trop rapidement, les zines ont émergé, en fait, de l'accessibilité des technologies d'impression aux gens ordinaires. Donc, au moment où des technologies d'impression sont arrivées qui permettaient à des gens qui n'avaient pas de connaissances particulières ou de connaissances techniques pour les utiliser, on a commencé à voir apparaître des petites publications, d'abord dans les années 30, ce qu'on appelait des fanzines, Donc, des zines produits par des fans d'abord de science-fiction.
So the short history, too short, but an idea of the history of zines. It started when technologies became available to people who didn't have any specific qualification to use these. So it started in the 30s when what came out was more fanzines, so people who used these publications that they made themselves about the people they liked.
Non. Donc, cette technologie-là, dans les années 30, c'était le miméographe, qui a permis la sortie des premiers zines, dont le plus connu, La Comète, qui était un zine de science-fiction, un fanzine de science-fiction. Et par la suite, il y a eu aussi les premiers zines gays et lesbiens, donc des petits zines autoproduits pour partager au sein des communautés.
The first zine came out from the technology of the mimeograph, which you have a picture in your zine, and it was called what?
La Comète.
La Comète, the comet. And it was shared amongst who?
Science fans.
There you go, sci-fi fans. And then a bit later, LGBTQ communities decided to share with the zine format things that were distributed within the community.
Donc, dans les années 30, 40, 50, il y a une petite production de ce qu'on appelle plutôt des fanzines. Puis, à partir des années 70, 80, 90, avec l'apparition du photocopieur Xerox, là, c'est l'explosion de la production de zines par les scènes underground, notamment punk.
So 30s, 40s, 50s, people were using these technologies to produce these small fanzines in all sorts of topics. And then 60s and 70s with the Xerox copy machine, that allowed for a much more broader democratization of the use of these technologies. So it became the highway, really the golden age of zines.
On a beaucoup en fait connu les zines à travers notamment le mouvement des Riot Girls aux États-Unis et en Europe. Donc, à partir des années 90, les jeunes filles qui fréquentaient les scènes punk, puis qui souhaitaient notamment dénoncer la misogynie, le sexisme au sein des scènes underground, et qui se sont mis à parler entre elles à travers des zines qu'elles s'envoyaient par la poste ou qu'elles faisaient circuler dans des coffee shops.
Okay, so with the democratization of the use of the technologies to print these things, more underground groups began to use these fanzines. And in the 90s, we came to associate the zines with the Riot Girls, like this group of women from Russia who were critical of the regime. And that inspired women who were just from the punk scene, the music punk scene, who wanted to talk about misogyny, that's a tough word to say in English, so that word, misogyny, sexism, and so on. They wanted to share their experience of the punk scene amongst themselves, so they did these fanzines and distributed them by mail to their female colleagues.
Donc, vous avez à la page 3 du zine quelques exemples des pages couvertures des zines marquants qui viennent des différentes périodes dont on a parlé.
Examples of some of the zines that were produced during these years on page 3.
Merci, Lynn.
It's kind of a weird format, but that's okay.
Et donc, cette histoire des zines, cette production de zines nous inspire un peu ce qu'on va faire ensemble aujourd'hui. Et puis c'est une occasion aussi de vous partager c'est quoi l'esprit en fait des zines. Parce que si les zines ont été faits par des fans ou par des gens qui avaient envie de partager des sujets sensibles ensemble, c'est beaucoup parce que le format donnait accès à un peu n'importe qui, donnait l'accès à un public assez étendu. Donc, on pouvait partager en masse nos idées, nos créations.
The short history that Florence traced for us gives us a sense of what is it that we can do today. The spirit of the zine, that's what she was defining it. The spirit of the zine is really to use something that anyone and everybody can do and use to distribute, sometimes with large numbers, sometimes to very specific groups, the kind of ideas that they want to share and that can be expressed in very, very simple ways, but very efficient ways.
Donc, je vous ai mis quelques mots-clés en page 4 du petit zine, c'est-à-dire pour beaucoup de gens qui ont fabriqué des zines, ou pour beaucoup de zinesteurs, faire le zine, c'est partager, c'est prendre soin d'une communauté aussi, prendre soin de ses idées, mais aussi souvent, parce que c'est un format qui est circulé dans les scènes radicales, dénoncer.
Page 4, a couple of keywords that really tell you about some of the ideas that is really behind some of those zines. Sharing, which is a key idea. The second one is caring. Sometimes it's caring for your own community, sometimes it's caring for yourself, sometimes it's caring for a group. And the third one has often been the core idea behind some of these zines, which is denouncing inequalities, denouncing discrimination, prejudice, and so on.
Donc, qu'est-ce qui fait la particularité des zines? Et là, j'ai mis encore une fois quelques mots-clés à la page suivante du zine. La simplicité.
Simplicity, other keywords.
Beaucoup de liberté parce que peu de paramètres. On commence avec une page blanche. Puis on crée ce qu'on veut.
Very few rules, because you just start with an empty page and you do whatever you want.
Donc, il n'y a pas de règles, puis il n'y a pas non plus de technique ou de master to look up to.
Yeah, there you go. So no master to look up for, no specific technique that I required, just your own ideas.
Historiquement, on parle beaucoup d'usine comme d'une production individuelle, donc une manière pour des individus d'atteindre des publics.
It's often considered, like zines are often considered as an individual production, something that comes from an individual towards his or her community.
Personnellement, dans ma pratique de production de zines à Sherbrooke, puis dans le quartier où je fais mes recherches, je travaille avec des gens à faire une production de zines collectif.
Florence has a practice of making these zines, and it's part of her doctoral research, which she conducts in Sherbrooke City, here in Quebec. And she does it rather than an individual basis, she does it with a group of people. So it's a collective creation.
Donc, j'ai amené quelques exemples, puis tout à l'heure, on pourra soit les passer ou les deux zines qui ont été créées en groupe, où en fait, chaque personne ou chaque sous-groupe de personnes crée des pages qu'on assemble pour créer un livret fabriqué par tout le monde ensemble.
So that's the kind of examples, and there's quite a few on the table. We'll circulate them, or you can be free to come and look at them. Individual people, like so everyone makes a page, and then you put the pages together to create these booklets. So that's one of the ways in which the zine becomes a collective thing, rather than just an individual one.
Donc, juste pour vous inspirer ou pour donner une idée de ce qu'on peut faire aujourd'hui, si on regarde la production des zines, en général, souvent, on retrouve toutes sortes de manières de communiquer. Et donc, j'ai mis des exemples, encore une fois, dans le petit zine, c'est-à-dire qu'on peut trouver des poèmes, des entretiens. Donc, une personne pourrait choisir d'interviewer une autre personne, puis de mettre les questions et les réponses sur une page. Donc, des histoires, des dessins, des pensées, des collages.
Everything can go on in a zine. So some of the ideas are there. You can have poems, you can have stories, you can have interviews, you can have drawings, you can have whatever you want. It's really up to you, and it's the limits are that of your imagination, basically.
Donc voilà. Oui.
Ah, voilà.
En fait, on s'était dit qu'on laissait au groupe décider ce qu'ils préfèrent.
What is it? Yeah. So some people might feel like they want to make their own zine. Others might want to contribute to a collective zine. We might decide to collectively do one zine or do different ones. It'll be up to us. So I should say up to you guys. So that's one of the things we'll discuss is what is it that you feel like doing? Do you feel like doing an individual one, and that's perfectly all right? Or do you feel like doing a collective one, or 2 or 3 collective ones? Okay.
On pourrait aussi penser faire des zines individuelles de ce format-là, mais à la toute fin, les mettre ensemble pour faire une collection qui parlerait de Aging Together.
So we could also decide to do individual ones, but at the end of the day, put them all together to make a sort of collection of the zines produced today on the theme of Let's Age Together. Good?
Voilà.
Good. That's our introduction. So the rest is doing. Donc, sur la table, vous avez toutes sortes de matériel. On n'est pas assez nombreux ou nombreuses pour pas pouvoir les partager. Il y a beaucoup de matériel disponible. You can use some of these magazines. Feel free to cut images from it, words, whatever. That could be just something you might feel is inspiring or not. You can draw, you can do whatever. So maybe one of the first things we want to do is decide, do we want to do individual? Do you feel like doing each your own? Or do you want to work together? We could imagine all sorts of ways of doing the zines today. So that's maybe something we can talk about. So any ideas, suggestions? Marlene,
I'm not very fast, so
You're not
I
fast.
would like to do it collectively.
very good. That's fine.
All
That's
right.
fine. Collectively.
I think it might be nice if each of us could, or me, I did my own, but took something from there and put it in the collective.
There you go. Okay, so like an individual page that would be become part of a collective thing. Okay, that sounds okay. That resonates. That resonates. Very good. Very good. You do one together, and we put all together.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
À ce moment-là, peut-être je peux vous partager des formats intéressants pour faire ça. Je trouve intéressant que you're saying you're not fast. You can do one page in this kind of format that we bring in a collective zine. But for those who are faster, you can take the same format and do 2 pages. You can do 4 pages. The important part is that we have all the pages to be la moitié de la page.
Yeah. Okay, so there's different formats, and you can choose. You don't have to do the same. One of these is, as Florence was saying, this is a 1 page, right? And the important thing, given that we're going to put them together, is to keep the page in that orientation. Exactly. You can have both sides, or if you feel like it, you can do 4 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to you. So these are the ones that we're going to start with. They're different colors, so feel free to choose the color you feel like that talks to you more, and all the material there. We can bring them to the table if you prefer not to have to move all the time, but maybe just go and have a look, see what's there, see what you feel like using, what's inspiring, and then we could just start. We want to think about also, given that we're going to do something collective, we might want to throw ideas as to what does the theme of today's workshop around Let's Age Together bring about? What kinds of ideas do we have? We sometimes not just to sort of decide what we're going to do, but sort of find inspiration from the discussion about what the theme brings out. What kind of ideas, what kind of suggestions? And we're thinking along the lines of not just Let's Age Together like that, but we're thinking, what are the challenges? What are on the contrary, what are the interesting things that could come up? What are the nice possibilities, the creative, but also the hurdles, the things that are like steps we have to go through. Also, what does it mean collectively? Does it mean in my family? Does it mean socially? Does it mean with my friend, my partner, my kids? What does it mean? So all of these things can just be ideas to think about, and collectively we can see what kinds of things come up, what kinds of themes our overall themes suggest. Yes, please. Go ahead.
If you, like me, I have problems with I'm a right-hander,
Yes,
but I'm ambidextrous.
yes,
I have problems to write.
yes.
Is it considered not a zine if you do your writing on the computer?
Not at all. Not at all. Some of the idea, hold on. I think you have one that has, did you bring the one that has this one, I think.
Lynn, would you mind
Si.
repeating the question? Would you mind repeating the question into your mic, just so that those
yes.
online can understand
Yes.
what's happening?
And I didn't get your name. Andra. Andra is asking, given that she's ambidextrous, but at the same time has a little trouble writing, handwriting. Okay, you're forcing yourself to be left-handed? Okay, but she was asking, is it a problem? Is it not a zine if it's typed using the computer? There's no rules, so you can do whatever. You can do whatever. You can decide to use the prints from the magazine and cut words if you want. You can really do anything you feel like, really. Okay, so maybe my suggestion would be to start with having a look at what's there, and then we can come back and take a few minutes to discuss ideas, and then off you go. Okay? Sounds good? Very good. Il reste un petit... Okay. Oh, we're missing Andra.
Oh,
We'll wait just a few minutes.
démaquez-nous, s'il vous plaît.
We're just waiting for Andra to come back, and then we can share. Ça, c'est les nôtres. Donc, attends.
On va les
On va les
partager.
présenter aussi.
Oui. Moi, je m'étais pris des notes sur mon
Ça fait étrange de se voir si grand.
C'est gênant.
Get out of the way. Oh, t'avais pas vu?
Non! C'est trop mignon.
There she is. Okay, we were just waiting for you. Okay, can we get together and maybe share? Okay, do we have a volunteer to start? Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. Okay,
Okay, I'll stand up.
very good.
All right. Okay. So, I know that won't
Yes, it will.
scan well, but
Yes,
I
it will.
found this quote about being in the bathtub, and all your good ideas come when you're in the bathtub.
That's
So
amazing.
For me, that is and the secret to aging is old age is always 15 years away.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then I liked her
Oh, yeah, it's much older, from a different era.
from a different era.
On
but
bicycle.
still everybody's riding bikes.
Yes. Oh, hold on. Cheryl?
Perhaps if you wanted to.
I'll hold it. Okay, do I need to start over?
Well, go ahead, just go ahead.
And so there's two ways of looking at life.
Yes.
And so the quote was, the actual enemy is the unknown. Okay, and that's fair. Then I thought, well, is she the enemy? Because we don't understand aging, like really? But actually it's not enemy, it's fun. The unknown can be fun, but by the same token is what can go wrong now. Your stomach, liver, intestine, lungs. It's like, oh great, I have to go to the doctor. Yeah, so there was sort of those perspectives on how we move through life. And then on the back again, this woman, just out of curiosity, back in the 70s, she was one of the most respected, once they paid attention, natural health food nutritionists. She was, so in the 70s, right?
Okay.
And she became extraordinarily popular because she thought good food should taste good. Oh, there's an idea. And anyway, so anyhow, I thought she was kind of fun, and it's just a nice vibe, and life is always subject to change.
Wonderful.
There's just,
Wonderful.
There we
Thank
go.
you so much. That's amazing. It's amazing.
Can we
Thank
put
you.
it on the table for the display?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, who else? You'll go. I'll give you. Thank you.
I don't think I need that. I think I'm
Yeah, but
talk now.
talk loud, but I can hold it if you don't. Okay, like that? Perfect.
What I chose the orange color because I just love mangoes and orange and stuff like that. And the first thing I did was I put an eye on top. And I found that quote that said, I knew from now on I would be putting the frosting on the cake.
Excellent.
There. And then this other thing here reminded me of Aladdin's lamp, like when you rub the lamp. So I put that there. on this page, it's a woman who has been invited to go out dancing. And she's sort of like thinking, how can she dance, you know? Although she's young there, she's probably older now, right? So I just wrote a little poem and it said, how shall I dance upon these feet? How shall I dance again? And
Beautiful.
I found two things of dancing feet, so I put those. And then it says, add sparkle to your performance, live better, and how? And there's the picture of a little boy. I couldn't find a girl. It says, build stronger bodies, resistance to disease, sparkling energy, glowing vitality. And the drivers are something luscious just for you. And there's an arrow.
Uh-huh.
And then when you turn the page, you have the back with all the fruit and all those things. I love you. And it says, best reason in the world to dance.
Amazing. Thank you. Thanks, Andrea. Who else? You'll go. Back away. You want to hold it for her? Wonderful.
The process of going through the magazines helps you think, and pictures give me words. So I love pictures with words. The first big picture I found is of the brain, but to me it looked like a road map. And the first thing that came to me was the road map is wide open. And all of these are little destinations, because I feel that sometimes aging is considered closed. And closed, it's like you're not living anymore. So for me, all these little paths and the word destination, it's up to yourself to what am I going to do, as opposed to what did I do? Because what's done is done, right? Like, you do meet people who are living in what they did. And I always say, so what are you going to do? And they look at me like, I did it. No. Because then at that point, you've decided to stop aging and you've decided to be comatose, right? So, and then with aging, there's that physical that happens to us. Like these breasts used to be pretty, now they're not. You know, they're never going to be again. So you're beautiful. And what was funny was that you're even guaranteed 30 days. But then I crossed off the 30 and put forever. Because there's a beauty in our body that it's lived. And I think more and more as baby boomers are kind of, you know, we're still a very influential part of society. We're saying wrinkles are good. You know, it means you've lived. The scars you have is life. You know, you can't come out of here. You know, sure, you can do plastic surgery, but it's like denying a truth. So if we could say we're beautiful, if we can believe, because you can say all you want, but you believe that your body is beautiful and that it's gone through passages. So I think those are beautiful words. And you can't age alone. For me, I think more than anything, the human communication, the bonding with people older than you, younger than you, with animals, is really what makes us human. So these two people, I wrote, not alone, extend la main. But this woman, we do have our fears. And again, in feeling that you're not alone, that you can express this to someone is very important. So I think the big message for aging together is together. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Making this happen.
Oh, you're making it happen.
Well, you physically created the space, and we took advantage, or we worked in the space that you've created.
That's amazing. Can I take it to the table?
Oh, of course.
Thank you. Okay. Next.
Who's next?
Tu y vas, Thierry?
Alors, moi, j'ai choisi une belle infirmière pour dire que c'est tout un art de vieillir. J'ai mis aussi des petits rides pour dire que marquer le temps qui passe. Et vieillir, c'est aussi toujours être en vie. C'est important. Et j'ai écrit une petite citation de Joséphine Bacon qui dit « Je suis parce que tu as été ». Et je trouve que c'est important aussi de reconnaître la passation, l'héritage ou la transmission. Il y a une certaine forme de guide, life guide, et que l'old fashion, c'est toujours nouveau. Hein? On sait qu'on aime beaucoup ça. Et on est toujours plus powerful together et qu'on ne devrait pas perdre notre temps. On devrait prendre 2 minutes pour être tous ensemble.
Super.
Et conserver la flamme.
Super, super. Merci Sabrina. Je te prends ça. Super. Did everybody understand? Yes? Yes, definitely. Look.
Oh, very cool, yeah.
Yes. Hey, wonderful. Thank you.
I
We're
guess,
looking at you guys.
yeah. I
Elie?
guess I'll go next because I have the
Okay.
mic. Yeah, can
There you
everyone
go.
see?
Okay.
So I started with thinking about the beauty standards across generations, and I started thinking about. So I work in sexuality education, so starting to think about how sexuality is seen as we age, and just tried to play with those ideas of what is sexuality. So I started here, and I've got little flaps on mine. And it says, underneath it says, am I erotic? Because these are images that we would traditionally be like, oh, these we wouldn't see these as sexual beings. So it's like just playing with that. And the idea of witchcraft up here. And then I found a lot of eyes. I was attracted to eyes. So I was like, okay, this idea of like, do you see me now? So wait a second, it's stuck together.
Ooh.
So then I just started playing with some like collaging of faces and eyes, and just playing with what is attractive, what is sexual, how do people see us? And then at the end, I just said, am I really hungry? Again, playing with that sense of erotic and that sense of sexualization. And here it says, there's a quote on the side that says, the 70s were great years, weren't they? And then it says, how do you feel when you know? And it's next to someone who's probably around 70, maybe, who's actually walking to church. And I had to cut the church off in that. And I was like, oh, this is, I don't know, it's just kind of like a playful thing.
Wonderful.
So,
Great. That's great. That's great. Thank you.
I was thinking about aging as processes of archival of ourselves and of others, and how being witness to each other is pretty much the kindest thing we can do to each other. And then also I was thinking about like where would those materially be if they're in our bodies and also in places in tangible physical forms. And I was thinking about houses and the housing crisis and how so many archives are being destroyed because people are getting evicted, and just, I think a lot about loss of archives. So this is also a semi-playful meditation on archiving people we love.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to take
it
yours
still on?
and yours and put them on the table.
Okay, I took on too much because I was going to do just one page, and then it seemed I got 4, so I had to do something with it all. And I was inspired by the promotion for the event today. This morning there was an ad on CBC Radio, and Kim Sawchuk. Are you still here?
Oh.
Okay. She mentioned FOA. And I said, FOA, I've never heard of that before. And then she said, fear of aging. And I thought, oh my God, like, why haven't I heard that before? So I thought, I ended up with a picture of the brain, or the this picture of the head, I'll hold it up, yeah. Oh, maybe, yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. So, yeah, don't do the front, there. Yeah, so I called it Taming the Monster, and then on the back is Foa, if you can read that. But it's on the brain, so it's pretty simple. And then on the inside, it's main text is all in her mind, because it's
Beautiful.
I find it's like not genetics, but bias
Definitely.
towards women that, you know, like it's all in your mind. That you sometimes wonder what aging is all about. So,
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to take this. Okay. Florence?
Yes, my turn. So I was thinking a lot about surveillance, policing, morals as a way of, I was thinking about the ways people watch each other as we are aging, as we are changing. So I put on this, saying, ensemble sans surveillance, we are dirty, horrifying, terrible.
Together without surveillance. That's your thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I choose also to put bad aging habits, to like not celebrate it, but putting it as those are also ways of being together, of aging together, and just some little irony to pour se donner la permission.
Yeah. To give ourselves permission. Yeah, absolutely. I think we were along a similar vein without thinking about it. We didn't talk about it. Mine is bodies, lots of bodies together. So those are the bodies. They're, in fact, I didn't know, they were sculptures in Oslo, where you see all these bodies that are together. There you go. The bodies are moving. And my main idea was like the beginning. We talked about that a couple of days ago. When I thought of aging together, I thought of a park bench. For me, it resonates with having a place not only to sit, but also to be in the world, even if you're on your own. So you're being with others, even if you're on your own on the bench. And for me, it really resonates with, I don't know, I can picture people sitting on benches. And for me, it could be seen as something isolated or something that you do like lonely, but you can be on your own without being isolated, or even, so that was the park bench. But at the same time, I thought, don't tell them to play it safe, or don't tell me to play it safe. So it's a combination of all of these, and as something that someone cares. It's not just, the quote that I cut was someone who cares. And I thought, no, her idea was cut the words. So cutting the words, I took out who. So it does, someone cares. So I think someone does care. So it's like that. So that's mine. I think it's, yeah. I think it's quite interesting to see all the different ways in which we thought about like what's aging together. And it's interesting to see bodies, sexuality, and the together as a key thing that comes back and back and back in different ways. So it's a different notion of together than just to say, okay, we're together. There's a sense of things, beings, different entities that are there too, but also a togetherness that has to be, I think, from what we saw, a togetherness that's got to be, how do you say that? Even in French, I cannot think of it. Something you do. It's not just something that is a state. We cannot take for granted that it's together, but it's something that we need to do. So it came out from many of those things, saying togetherness is not a fact. Togetherness is something we do. So maybe it's togethering aging or something like that in a way. So Yes, exactly. Yes, there's something about that.
Come to you, you have to go to them, right? It's a forward action.
It's a forward, yeah, it's an action. Yes, yes, you invite people in too, and you have to feel invited too. Yeah, I find it also interesting that it's from all your pages and all our pages. It's not just beautiful, it's not just disgusting, and it's all these layerings of things that are good, so good, bad, quote unquote bad, but also all the complexities of aging, I think, is interesting, going from housing to living, to the nurse, to the life, to the park, to the plants, to the sexuality. So I think that's quite interesting how even through simple things like this bricolage, all of these come up, which I think is quite interesting. So I want to thank you, and we want to thank you so much, so much. That was amazing. That was really amazing. We're going to think about, we have a few minutes, so we could think about how do we want to bring this together? Because, okay, the picture of the table, as you can see it there, Florence and I are suggesting we have that as a cover, right? Right? So all our pages will be there, but just as a cover of the zine. Is that okay with you guys? Yeah, perfect. And then, how do we, in which order do you see them? Is there an order that you see fit? If you remember, okay, how much powerful an art, because that goes, right? Okay. And then, am I?
For those who have flips,
Yes.
we're going to do multiple pages.
Exactly.
So everything is going to appear.
Is going to appear, yeah. And then, you're beautiful. And then, don't tell them to play it safe. Then horrifying, horrifying. Then what can go wrong? And my daddy is a dyke. I love it. So, okay, any suggestion? How do you, can you see, because one of the ways to think about it is sort of like a narrative. That could be a narrative, or it could be just separate and just come with just ideas that bind together.
I think I like the horrifying at the beginning, because that's
The horrifying?
shocking.
Shocking,
And
okay.
then I like the pathways, like the
Yes, the pathways.
It feels like it's opening into.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, yellow and yellow gold. Okay, what else?
The dancing, the orange.
The dancing? Aha. The dancing would go, okay, so hold on. The dancing would go after. Okay, that's cool. What else? There's the sexuality. Yeah, maybe with dancing. Yes, physical. Okay, so dancing. Mine, yeah, with bodies. We continue on the themes of bodies. If that's the case, I would also put, where is it? This.
Maybe walking over.
Yes, 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 definitely. And then
I
the
think we
life guide.
Can we? I hesitate to finish with life guide.
Yes, finish
Or-
with life guide. Yes, okay. Okay, so what was this one? Oh yeah, the
Secret.
secret. I think the secret goes with this. Yes, like that. And then honor in your mind. And we finish with life guide. Okay, wonderful.
Great.
The idea is that we're going to scan these, print, and by the end of the day, these are ready to be assembled. They'll be assembled. So, of course, you'll get each a copy. And Constance was suggesting that we might keep here a copy or two so that people can see what we've done, right? And again, thank you so much. It was really, really, it's inspiring. Yes, exactly. That gives the idea, right? It's and I want to really thank Florence, because if Florence had not had this practice part of her research, I don't think we would have come up with this idea. And it's I absolutely agree with her. This is a way of having things come up in ways that otherwise it doesn't. And the very idea that you combine things opens up to bringing ideas together, I think, in a very simple yet very powerful way. So merci. Merci beaucoup, Florence.
Thanks, all of you.
And you know, how do you like you scan everything in? How does it work?
The specialist.
Oh,
yeah.
Very, I just put it all together in a PDF, and the simplest way is to print it as a booklet directly with the printer. I do it pretty much simply in like the program Pages on my book. That's it.
I've done crafting teams before, but easy. And then only with like the DIY ones, I've only ever done individually. I've never done the DIY team collaboratively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
Marley.
get a copy of the PhD for being here?
A copy of the PDF.
PhD.
Oh, or PhD. You could tell them about your PhD and give the 2-minute snippet of your PhD.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Have a website?
You'll see. You'll
No,
see
I
why.
don't actually. So my PhD is about the becoming pores in a neighbor in the in Sherbrooke in the downtown that is in a process of gentrifying. So I work closely with people of the neighborhood. We're doing how do we say enquête?
Surveys.
But it's not surveys.
But
right?
not surveys as a
Sociological
form, but
surveys,
you do
yeah.
a sort of, what's enquête?
Investigations.
Yes, investigation.
So I do investigations with people from the neighborhood, looking at the owners, their practices, evictions.
Yeah.
So we're doing some creative work, talking about our stories, but also archiving what is going on in the neighborhood to grow power in the face of the owners and the city hall. So I'm also writing about what are the main problematizations of being poor, of poverty, and of what we call social problems. And my thesis is about tissé narratives from alternative ways to problematize what is being poor or becoming poor, and what we can do together to fight what is happening in the neighborhood. Sorry. So my thesis must be available
Soon.
at the end of the summer. So
Yeah. And she won't say, but I will. The work that is going to continue here at Concordia, because she's just received a postdoc fellowship, so that she can continue 2 years here on archiving, on community archiving, through the same kind of things in the same neighborhood. How can the community archive its own stories and aging? So, so that's that.
no, it's from many people from the neighborhood. I'm working a lot with LADIC, which is an association of drug users, and there's a big age gap between people. I work with other people that are not specifically in an association, but the people I work closely with are those ones. And there's people from, I think, 18 years old to 60, 65 years old, I guess. Yes. Yes, as a practice and also as a way of sharing information. We created
Yeah, that's one of the ones that they created. These are the pages of the thing, but it's called For a Popular Sherbrooke, Pour un Sherbrooke populaire. So that's the product of one of the workshops that she did with some of the,
So we make zines, but we also share zines that we collect from the places we visit. As it is a practice in underground scenes, a lot of the people I work with have those practices or read those kind of documents, so it's in the culture.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Very good, thank you. So again, vas-y.
I would like to know if we can have a copy of the PDF.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, definitely.
If you want to
We
let
can
your
share.
email address, I can send the PDF to everybody too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can, these were meant to be shared, so yeah, absolutely. And based on the PDF, you can print, like on a regular printer, as many copies as you want and share with whoever you think might be interested, or on the contrary, that you want to be interested and it might not be. So, yes. Yes, please, please, please.
Maybe if we pass a paper around.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's a
we're
good
all
idea.
on the
That's a
same,
good idea.
So you
Yeah.
don't have too many papers.
Good idea. There, you can write your email. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we'll do that, exchange emails and circulate that. Super.
Thank you so much for facilitating that wonderful workshop. Thank you to everyone here in the space who participated and for those online that joined us as well. We're going to be just stopping the live stream, but we'll keep the Zoom going. We do have another event at 2:30, so through the lens of aging. We're going to be taking a short break, but then we'll see you back there at 2:30.